You're tuned into Human by AI with Ashish Garg. Real, unscripted conversations about how humans and AI are shaping the future of community finance. Grab your favorite drink and let's dive in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next edition of our podcast, Human by AI. I have a wonderful gentleman here named Casey Bacon. Casey, I only knew Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And I got to know Casey Bacon a little bit. I grew up in India, and when I was in the last year of my undergrad, I learned this dance called Footloose,
Yes.
which comes from a very famous movie, and hence I know Kevin Bacon. So, sir, are you related to Kevin Bacon by any chance?
I've often gotten that question, and I'm sure somewhere down the road we must be long distance cousins. There must be a connection somewhere, at least within 7, right?
I see. So yeah, let's hope there is.
That's right.
But for our audience, Casey, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, sir? What is it that you do, etc.?
Yes. I've been the CEO over at Statewide for about 11 years now, but I've spent over 35 years now in the credit union industry.
I see.
And started off in the teller area, worked my way up, and had the fortune to get hired as the president over there at Statewide about 11 years ago. And since that time, we've more than doubled in size and had a lot of success. And we went from a not very technologically forward credit union to probably one of the most technologically forward credit unions in the whole area.
Wow.
And the use of all of our different partners has been a key part of that, and that includes y'all.
Thank you. And where exactly for our audience is Statewide Credit Union based?
In Mississippi. Yes, and we have branches throughout Mississippi, and we have a lot of different SEGs, universities, and then we have members in almost every state of the country now as well.
Oh, really? And I love your story, Casey, that you started as a teller. Is that right?
That is correct.
It's almost like at the bottom of the pyramid, and then work your way all the way to the top. So when you started as a teller, did you ever think you'll be a credit union CEO?
No, not at all. So when I first got the job, I wanted to stay in Austin, Texas that's where I met my now wife when we were both at the University of Texas.
I see.
And I wanted to stay in Austin, and I had a chance to become, I got this job offer from a credit union. I didn't know what it was. I thought, oh, this will be good for 6 months. And then after that, I took the job. I realized that we make a big difference in our members' lives. It's not just a big corporation.
Yes.
And I had the chance to move up into the member services, eventually to the accounting area. And that's really where I got into the technology side. Now, I'm old enough to where we didn't have computers or internet connections or anything else like that at the time. And so that's how I got into technology, is I was able to actually share a laser printer back in the day. And from there, I became the first IT director, and eventually went to the CUNA Management School, became head of operations. We put in our first call center, oversaw all the branches, the training, graduated from CUNA Management School, and had a chance to move to a larger credit union there in Austin as the chief information officer, and stayed there about 11 years until I had the chance to become a CEO. So
wow.
Yes, I never dreamed I'd become a CEO.
So after hearing that, I have a question sir, is there a role in the credit union you have not done?
Yes, I've not done collections. I've not done mortgage lending, and I've overseen some of those areas, but those are probably the 2 primary jobs I've not done. Other than that, I've done just about everything else.
What a heartwarming story.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the topic of my podcast, Casey, is Human by AI.
Yes.
And what we explore here is sort of, as you know, AI is everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. So let me start by asking you, as a person, are you an AI skeptic? Are you an AI believer?
Definitely an AI believer. And I guess I can trace that back to my history in this industry. I can remember going back, like I mentioned, we didn't have PCs. We just had these dumb terminals into our mainframe, and seeing the advancement in technology that, bringing in internet connections, bringing in computers, bringing in Excel, and seeing, from the beginning of that evolution to where we are now, and how AI is able to help our employees, help our members so much more than what we were able to do in the past. Definitely a believer.
I see. And sir, do you use AI in your personal life by any chance?
I do. Now, I don't use it all day, every day.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing research now, I'll go to different AI tools. It's interesting. I have a 16-year-old son who's a sophomore in high school, and seeing how they integrate that into their school life. And my wife's a teacher, and seeing how she's able to integrate that and help with different aspects of her career and her profession, and just seeing a difference that makes. And it doesn't replace people, but it really multiplies what they're able to do. So I'm definitely a believer.
I see.
I've had a lot of discussions with my wife about that. Being a teacher now, she's second grade, so they they're still learning how to read and write and to do those kinds of things. But I think it's an opportunity. It's going to be a change for our society, but I think as we learn as a people to use these tools, it's only going to enhance what we can do. It's going to enhance the problems that we can solve, and how we can move, not only our industry or our business, but just as a whole society, how we can move forward. Like I said, there'll certainly be challenges. People won't learn the same, but all of the knowledge is going to be available to everybody, and that's an exciting time.
Yeah. And knowing that you've done almost all the jobs in a credit union, barring two,
Yes.
and all the experience, Casey, you have, can you tell us what are the areas within your credit union or within the credit union industry that can tremendously benefit from AI?
Yes. Well, we've used AI and AI tools in the different fraud monitoring for our debit cards, credit cards, now our home banking, and our marketing department can use it to help with their creative. As we're doing the different queries in our database, using it to help with those types of coding is all very, very beneficial. But probably the biggest thing is making sure all of our staff has access to all the correct information internally. And so now we have the AI assist, and that's enabling all of our employees to get the exact information at the time that they need it, and making sure they're getting the correct information. So it's hard to say there's one area that's benefiting from it, because across the whole organization, we see benefits. But if we can provide that consistency to all of our members, all of our employees, that's probably the biggest thing we've done so far.
I see. And where I live, Casey, I live in the Silicon Valley. A lot of this whole AI stuff has been invented there. And a lot of the leaders leading the AI revolution from Silicon Valley love to talk about this new era where AI starts taking away a lot of jobs. For example, 2 days ago, I read an article where the CEO of Anthropic was talking about that, hey, AI could possibly sort of cause 20% unemployment, like between 10 to 20% unemployment. Right. So I personally feel there's a lot being discussed, and a lot of people are probably scared and worried about their jobs. Are you seeing that in your credit union in general?
I've seen that sort of throughout my career. Whatever new technology comes up, there's always a little apprehension and a little bit of concern about how is this going to affect me? What's in it for me?
Yeah.
And that's human nature. I think that's understandable. And as leadership, I think that's part of our duty, is to explain how these tools are not going to replace you, but help our employees sort of level up and do more than they're able to do today, and ultimately provide a better value to our members, help them with their financial problems more than just doing a transaction. And so we do spend time making sure that our employees understand how this is really going to benefit them and benefit our members and the communities that we serve.
I see. And let's touch upon the human element for a moment. I know you spoke about many areas that can benefit from AI, but a lot of the credit union difference is really that human connection.
Yes.
Can you talk the opposite? What are some of the areas that you believe humans will always have a very critical role to be played in the context of financial services, more specifically credit unions?
I think probably one of those is the financial coaching. So in Mississippi, we have a lot of low income members.
Yeah.
And we provide banking services to people that nobody else will help. And so earning their trust, being part of the community, being out and being visible I think is a really key part that I don't see how an AI tool can be out at a little league game, out in the community, going to a school and representing and educating the youth. I think those things are really key. And then providing that sort of trusted advice. And we work with our employees an awful lot on that to make sure that they're able to provide the financial coaching to help our members with their financial problems, whether they have a lot of money or very little. And I think those things are going to be key, and AI will help them do that. But I don't think it's going to replace them doing that anytime soon.
I see. So let's play out two scenarios, Casey. A member, especially in Mississippi, low income designation, walks into a branch, and now you could either offer that member to get financial advice from a human, one of your colleagues, or you could put a computer screen in front of them with the power of AI.
Yeah.
What is it that human can do better that computer screen? Like, what if a member could just chat with that AI technology on that computer? Like, what is that human is able to do better than that AI bot?
I think it's probably developing the trust, being able to, just like we're doing today, being able to look each other in the eye,
Yeah.
and realize that there's empathy and caring behind that. And an awful lot of the members that we serve don't have the benefit of being around a lot of education, a lot of technology,
Yeah.
and bridging that barrier to teach them how they can use some of the tools. We have some AI tools in our home banking that can help with their spending analysis and budgeting and those types of things, but helping them understand that how they can use these tools and how it's not some scary sort of, behind the scenes wizard. It's something that can really help them. Bridging that gap, I think, is a real key.
So the trust aspect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Fascinating. So what I'm hearing from you to summarize is that the human element, which is really about building trust,
yeah,
and then be able to educate the member.
And like the markets we serve don't even have the benefit of having a bus available to them.
I see.
And we serve a lot of rural areas, smaller towns that don't have the mass transit, and it's virtually impossible for them to get a job or go to school without that transportation. And so that's one thing that we do pride ourselves on, is helping people get into that first car, how to get out of the predatory lending, and how do you get into sort of traditional credit, lower cost. And we put a lot of effort and emphasis with our employees to help our members get through that.
Yeah.
And the more we can sort of level them up with AI tools and education and training, the more impact they can have on the overall community. So again, kind of going back to, am I optimistic about the future with AI? Absolutely.
So Casey, you've been there, done that, started the teller, made your way up, etc., etc. If you had to give my kids advice that, hey, focus on this at a young age, what would that be in the era of AI?
What I see, and I think that's a tough one. We've had that exact conversation with our own family. Like what does the future look like? I think being adaptable, being able to problem solve and have critical thinking skills, I think those are all key aspects that AI can help sort of multiply what you can do. But I think those are some key skills of how to move forward, because like I'm old enough where I went to school, you memorize a lot of facts, you learn, you memorize your multiplication table and those kind of things. Now you have tools that can easily do that better than most anybody can. And so learning how to critically think and solve problems, I think is the key.
Yeah, I love that, problem solving, critical thinking. And then what I tell my kids is that, listen, as AI becomes so more and more pervasive in our lives, I think one of the things that'll be a rare skill or a rare commodity, but very critical, is building connections with humans.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Right. Go out there, meet your friends, spend some more time. Because, of course, the world will always have humans, unless, of course, AI takes over the planet. but like that, building those connections.
But I think that's the future of sort of work, and what especially in the credit union industry, we build those connections.
Yeah,
we're able to provide a bigger impact to a wider range of our community. I think that's going to be really key moving forward. So
yes,
I would totally agree.
Jeff, thank you very much, and a big thank you to you, Casey.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you
for the work you do for your communities. All I'll say, sir, everything you spoke about serving the underserved. I was an underserved 20 years ago. I know how it feels. So the work you and your credit union does, I salute you and I applaud you. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast and look forward to having it again very, very soon.
Thank you very much for everything in your partnership. Thank you very much.
And cheers to you.
Cheers.